Here's a person we can all get together and on actively. Individual right-wingers get mad at people like this. Charlie Kirk on the deadly Texas flooding. The death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI.
The Democrats, they're so despicable.
In Texas, dude? Really? DEI in Texas? He's like, Governor Greg Abbott, we shouldn't have had him as governor. We need a governor who can dive into the water and swim and extract people himself, personally.
The Democrats are not lifting a finger to remember the well over 100 people that have died in Texas Hill Country. What you are not being told by the media anywhere is that the death toll likely would not have been as high if it wasn't for DEI. This Texas tragedy is just the latest example. It's not just incompetence.
Yeah, DEI, divert extreme investment. Divert extreme investment to Israel. That's what the I stands for. It stands for both investment and Israel. That's what it is. That's what he's talking about.
This is DEI working to undermine meritocratic institutions and...
Brother, this is Texas. What the fuck? Wait, Texas is also doing DEI? What's he talking about? Did he think that this was California? What does he mean when he says DEI? Is he talking about divert environmental investment? DEI, divert everything to Israel? What the fuck is he talking about? Is there something going on in Texas that I was oblivious to? That is Texas also doing DEI now? What? It's a state. What the hell happened? Texas is so woke, they had a whole country full of Mexicans settle next door. I know. Some of them, when we drew the lines, remained in Texas, as a matter of fact. Hella Mexicans there. Teleprompter got the wrong script. Yeah, I'll have you know, there are Mexicans in Texas, dude.
more people likely died than otherwise would have because of DEI. The Democrats, they're...
Bro, this kind of commentary also is a direct consequence of people getting dumber and dumber year over year, where like he doesn't even need to make an argument. Have you noticed that there is no argument being made here? Okay? There is no correlation. There's not even a correlation. You can't even say like correlation does not mean causation. At least back in the day, they used to point to something. They used to like point to a correlation falsely, okay? They would do false equivalencies. They would do like silly ways of implementing logical fallacies to make a somewhat of a convincing argument. Now, it's just catchphrases, man. This is DEI. DEI is the reason why this is as bad as it is. And also because wokes. Yeah, woke DEI in the state of Texas. Woke DEI in the state of Texas? That's what happened? Yeah, this is why Ben fell off. This is precisely why Ben Shapiro fell off, because at least he was like trying to make a clear argument as to, like, he was trying to at least like create some talking points that made sense to those in the margins. But nowadays, with increased political polarization and a lack of interest, a severe lack of interest in identifying issues and solving them, all you need to do is hit a button. It's like this is something that a professional political commentator would avoid, okay? When I say something is a problem born out of capitalism, for example, okay? Or even if Charlie were to say like something is an issue with like socialization or something, instead of like, I'm doing a better job of making a convincing right-wing argument here. If I was a Republican commentator, I'd be like, well, Texas actually had to reorient its expenditure priorities as a direct consequence of the federal government under the Biden administration to make sure that transgenders were getting bottom surgeries in immigrant detention centers at the federal facilities. Like, at least I'm lying, but I'm lying in a direction that kind of makes sense. On the other hand, Charlie just goes, nah, Texas is a DEI state, man. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean Texas is a DEI state? I thought people voted for honest to God meritocracy in Texas. Like, there's a difference between like trying to tie together lies that make at least some kind of sense versus just saying a talking point. At least like talking points that Republicans used to use back in the day were like somewhat associated with the issue at hand. Now, they're not even associated with the fucking issue at hand. What the hell?